No sup devils for me today. People just don't know how to take a joke. But what's up? Welcome back to Melanie Loves Death Metal. Gonna do a second session of a Q&A. I posted a shorts, and I've got several questions on the shorts here that I want to answer for you guys today. I uploaded yesterday the questions that were given to me on my community post. So good reception there. Some people were really offended by me imitating Justin Horval. It was all fun, guys. Settle down. So I won't do that today. I will be more serious today, if that'll make you happy. Lost some subs and had some angry messages my way. My God, people are so fucking sensitive on the internet. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So Chad is starting off with the first comment on my shorts. It is... Curious your thoughts on two bands I've never heard you mention, Pestilence and Malevolent Creation. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate you. You've been one of my longtime subs and supporters. So yeah, two bands that I will admittedly say I don't listen to a whole lot of. I do own Pestilence's first two albums. I've shown them off on here on collection updates way back in the beginning of my channel. So they're back there somewhere. I think it's like probably video number 20 or something insane like that. I don't really care too much for their later albums. Obviously, the first two albums I really enjoy, but after that, I don't really listen to them a whole lot. And same thing with Malevolent Creation. I like their first three albums, and then after that, I'm not familiar with anything else that they've made. I don't listen to them a whole lot. So these are two bands that I need to dive into a little bit more and see how I feel about them now, because I can honestly say I don't remember the last time I've listened to either of these bands. It's been a while. They don't get a normal rotation from me, which is sad because I know, obviously they both make great music. So something to dive into. So maybe some future videos are going to be coming now. So thanks for getting the creative juices flowing there. So Desert Island Death Metal, what are your top three indispensable albums? So this was actually really easy. I pulled them really quickly. None of these are going to be a surprise at all. Just given if you guys have been keeping up and you know my favorite bands. Number one, my all-time favorite death metal band and album, Leprosy. I can't live without that album. That's going with me. This was actually a little bit harder to decide on because there's about three favorite albums that I have of this band, but this is probably the one that I've found myself listening to the most lately. So I'm just going to go with the iconic The Bleeding by Cannibal Corpse. No slight, nothing against Corpse Grinder. I am not a Chris Barnes only fangirl for Cannibal Corpse. I love Corpse Grinder. Gallery of Suicide was the other contender here, and then Eaten Back to Life. I chose this one because, like I said, I've been listening to it the most lately, so that's just the mood that I'm in. And then finally, absolutely no competition here. This was a must-have. Suffocation's Pierce from Within. This is going with me, one of my all-time favorite death metal bands and album for sure. So that was fun. I like those types of questions. All right, so next we got Gordon, sub to his channel, great guy. Has been a long-time subscriber of mine as well. If you had to choose one band to listen to for eternity, who would it be? That's simple. Tool. I know people are going to be like, what? But, I mean, come on, it's my favorite band. What do you expect? And your death black metal supergroup, Dead or Alive artists. Thanks, Melanie. Oh, Dead or Alive. That makes it easier. Okay, so this is going to sound crazy. People are going to be like, what? We got Frank Mullen on vocals, because he's probably one of my favorite death metal vocalists. We got Chuck on the guitars, so Chuck would be back. And then, who else? This is actually kind of tough. I wish I had thought about this more before I decided to record my video. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of tough. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie there. Maybe Dave Lombardo on the drums. How weird of a supergroup is this? Yeah, I need to think about this more. Let me think about this more, and then maybe I'll come back and do a weird video on that. That's tough. I need to think about that more. Curious to know what people's supergroups would be. Comment below. But I need to think about that more. That's a great question too. So how many pieces of physical media, tape, CD, record do you listen to on an average day? So this highly depends on how my work day is. So I work from home, obviously. And my job consists of me sitting on video conference calls most of the day. So if I have a lot of calls, I typically don't listen to a whole lot of physical media those days. So maybe on average 3 records that or tape or CD that day. But on the days where I don't have a lot of calls and I'm just sitting in front of the computer working, it can go up to easily 8 albums a day. And then on the weekends, if I'm actually home, maybe 2 or 3 a day, just because the family's home, the kids are home, they're in and out of my office, they're needing things, so it's not as extensive as I would like it to be. So yeah, probably on average about 8 albums a day when I'm not busy doing things. Sometimes more, it just really depends on my mood and what's going on in my day. And some people often ask what I listen to the most. I listen to my records the most. They get the most use. My CDs and my tapes tend to sit and collect dust for a long time. However, lately I've been listening to a lot of CDs because I've been buying a lot of CDs. And my tapes have been collecting dust. So, and that's partly because my tape deck, half of it doesn't work. So I'm trying to preserve it before I have to buy another one because I really don't want to have to buy another one anytime soon. So I've just been trying to save my tape deck. It's old. I mean, it's really old. So the fact that it still works is amazing. So, all right. What is my favorite song by Death, and who's your favorite thrash band? So my favorite song by Death is probably Human. Not Human. Secret Face on Human. That's probably it, along with Born Dead on Leprosy. Yeah, those are probably my favorite songs. I just love Secret Face. I know it's like one of the more popular songs, but I just the soloing in that is so good. It's such a great song, and I love that album too. So that's probably my number 2 Death album that I listen to a lot. So yeah. All right, so we got my buddy Paul here. Top 5 Grindcore albums. So I actually, surprisingly, was able to list this off a lot faster in my head. But I wrote it down because I wanted to think about it for a minute. I did see this question come through yesterday because he told me that he posted it. So number 1 is probably Pig Destroyer's Prowler in the Yard. Number 2 is Nazem, Inhale, Exhale. Number 3 is Full of Hell, Trumpeting Ecstasy. And then number 5. Did I say number 3? I don't know. Oh, I missed Nails. Jesus, I fucked this up. Number 1 is Pig Destroyer, Prowler in the Yard. Number 2 is Nazem, Inhale, Exhale. Number 3 is Nails, Unsilent Death. Number 4 is Full of Hell, Trumpeting Ecstasy. And number 5 is probably Casualty Cap's Monolith of Inhumanity, even though some people will argue with me that that is more of a death grind or a death metal album. I'm putting it as grindcore. You can fuck off if you don't like that. So those are my favorite grindcore albums. I teetered on going back and forth by putting Discordance Axis on here. So if I had a top 10, that they would be there. Obviously, Napalm Death would be in the top 10. And then probably Gruesome's, not Gruesome, Terrorizer. Jesus Christ, I can't talk right now. So maybe I'll do like my favorite grindcore albums video. I don't think I've ever really done that. So, but probably no surprises there, Paul. I'm sure you probably could have answered that without asking me. We talk enough for you to know which ones my favorite ones are. So Ben, another one of my top followers and supporter here. Are you currently a Wednesday warrior? Do you have a pull list? So I'm assuming this means comic books. No. And I'm assuming this is in regards to comic books. I don't know. I might be completely off here. But I don't collect comic books anymore. I used to buy them a lot, and I used to get them weekly and have weekly subscriptions and go to the store weekly. But no, the comic game is totally off my radar right now. I do buy the big trades where it's like several comic books series from time to time just to, scratch my itch that I get for wanting to read comics. But for the most part, I'm an asshole now and I just read them digitally on my iPad. People are going to hate me for saying that. But yeah, I'm assuming that is about comics. If not, I'm probably you'll let me know in the comments if I'm completely wrong. And here is Simon. Everybody go subscribe to Simon's channel, Explosive Action. He does not just talk about music. He also has an insane movie collection, like insane. So definitely go sub to him, even though probably 90% of my subscribers are already subscribed to Simon. Who would be more fun? That's right. I forgot this was what your question was. Who would be more fun to be stranded on a desert island with you? Marty, Helen, or me? So if you're not familiar, this is like one of the first times you're ever watching my videos. We have a little, I'm just going to say circle jerk. That's going to be the term, because I've seen some people say that. You're jealous. But we have Heavy Metallurgy, the channel over there. They stream every Friday night. Marty and Alan do. They usually have a guest on. And then they also do an album club review every Wednesday. That is usually with Kellen and Jim. And then Marty as well. Every once in a while they change up the people on there. And then also TJ, Jesus, so they usually do that. And then on Mondays there's been album reviews as well. So album discussions are on Mondays, album reviews are on Mondays. But I've been on the channel several times. I do reviews over there. And Simon is one of those reviewers as well, and he also joins the streams, and Ben is often on there. But Marty, Allen, or him on a stranded island, really putting me on the spot here. I'm gonna go and this is actually really tough, because each one of you have a quality that I would probably really enjoy sitting on a stranded island with you. Like, Alan is just full of knowledge and has so much stuff in that brain that he would probably continue to teach me, and we probably would have all these interesting conversations. Marty, I can bullshit with him. Same thing with you too. I can bullshit with both of you guys. We're both very sarcastic together. We have good conversations about music. We talk about those politically correct conversations. This is tough. This is a really tough question. You know what? I'm going to go with Marty here. And that is simply just because Marty is the reason why, one of the main reasons why I have a lot of my subscriber base now, because him and Ben invited me to one of the What's Spinning streams. So sorry, Simon. That's the only reason why. Otherwise, I can't pick. This is just too hard. Moving on. Don't kill me. In an ideal world, it would be with all three of you. How about that? And maybe we can throw in Kellen too, just to really round it out. All right. So this one from Blue Rampage, would you do a video with Justin Horville? So I feel like you probably are new here. Yes, I would. And so a while back, I made a parody video about Justin because he talked about the Black Dahlia murder in one of his videos. And about how he'd never really heard them and stuff like that. And like, I don't know what he said. Or people were posers or something like that. And I thought it was funny. And so I made a parody video reacting to it. It was all fun. And he knows that. Some people didn't think it was funny and they took it offensively because why? And since then, we've talked quite a bit. We've gone back and forth via email about setting up a stream together back in July. We were supposed to stream together, and this is all on me, 100% on me. I sent him a couple dates. He said, okay, yeah, cool. And then, unfortunately, they were during the work week that I had to stream with him, and for whatever reason, I was moving at that time, and it was around the time that I was going on vacation, and so I just never completely followed up with him on a date to do it. So, since then, I have not followed up with him. I need to. I would like to do a stream with him. However, it would probably be a little bit more serious than what his normal videos are, similar to what he's doing with a lot of the interviews that he does, like with, Will from Mortician. He recently just had Garza on, which I was shocked to see that because he's in Suicide Silence, and man, does his channel and his followers really hate deathcore. But that was cool because Garza has a really cool YouTube channel, and he interviews not just deathcore bands, he interviews everybody. He has a really awesome video with Devourment. You should go check that out. They talked extensively about Obscene Majesty and their recording process and just overall history of their band. So that was a really cool video interview to watch. So yes, I definitely would do a video with Justin. I would probably have it definitely 100% focused on music, what we like to listen to, and then probably talk more about his background with Hell's Headbangers, some shows that he's been to, some of the best shows he's ever seen, some of the artists, kind of give some tea here and talk about some artists that maybe he's met that were douchebags or something like that, or just all around cool guys, stuff like that. And also I'm sure you guys watch his videos. In the background, he has a huge CD collection, a huge vinyl collection. And I am that nerd that will make him pull things that are just obscure or gems that are hard to find or something that just are really like considered grails to the death metal community and show that off to you, because I'm sure he's got some awesome things that in his collection that he wants to show off. And he's done that a couple times on his channel. I like those videos that he does. And yeah, and probably talk about maybe what's coming through Hell's Headbangers if he's allowed to talk about that. So yeah, ideally it'd be fun if I could go there and sit in the warehouse and inhale the smell of all the cardboard and all the vinyl, but unfortunately we live pretty far away from each other, so I don't know if I could ever make that happen. But yes, too long don't listen. Yes, I would make a video with him. It's gonna happen someday, hopefully soon. We've talked about it, and yeah. Also, just to caveat this, I don't have any beef with him whatsoever. Obviously, him and I have different opinions on things, and he says very offensive things, but I'm not an easily offended person when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I know a lot of it is to get views and people listening, which he has openly said on his channel several times. But at the end of the day, I think him and I would probably nerd out a lot about old school death metal and even some black metal stuff, and just really click when it came to that kind of stuff. So yeah. In this final one, I left it here. I was going to delete it because but I'll let you guys see it. I don't know who this user is. I checked and he's only commented on one thing, and it was this one. Hot take, Carcass are overrated. And I have several things here. I responded sarcastically, so you guys can see that. I go, that's not a question, that's an opinion. You failed the homework assignments. Because that's not a question. And that's not a hot take whatsoever. I know so many people, and I've seen so many people say that Carcass is overrated, and that they don't understand why people like their newer albums, and that their only good albums were the first, 2 to 3. So that's not a hot take at all. Also not a question. But I left your troll comment there because, sure, let's get the views and clicks. All right. So those are all of the questions. I might do this again sometime in the next year or so. I'm not going to make it a thing. But I'll get back to talking about, new releases and stuff like that. I've got a couple more videos that I might try to get up this week. Because I have more time, obviously, to record videos. I'm lucky my work week is not as hectic this week. And I've been able to take lunch breaks, which is great. So I do want to talk about the new Afterbirth album. I do want to talk about the new Fossilization album. I feel like that's going under the radar. I just got the promo for the new Mall EP that was announced on 20 Bucks Spin yesterday. And that comes out in November. So there's a lot of things I want to talk about. A collection update is definitely coming. I have several things that I'm waiting on to get into the mail, so that's why those are kind of few and far in between. And then maybe a Justin video someday. That is probably the number one requested thing that I've gotten lately is do a video with Justin, and it'll probably go on his channel. That makes more sense. He's got more of a subscriber base over there, more of a fan base. I don't know if I would get a whole lot of views if I put it on my channel, so I definitely would just let him throw it up on his. So that's all that I have today. I will see you guys in the next one.